Hi, welcome back. I'm Ariel, and this is Airy Herbal. So today I decided that I want to talk about chakra healing. I had actually just put something, a little thing about how I wanted to do a chakra healing video, and it turns out that there's this, this thing going around Tumblr where, I guess it's cultural appropriation it's confusing. It's kind of cultural appropriation to, help heal chakras and stuff like that, which, as a yoga instructor, I was trained in chakras. At least when I was doing my yoga training, I was trained in chakras, and I guess this is kind of weird for me to do this video, but I figure I would do it from an Americanized Western standpoint on chakras, which is technically, according to a article that I read, has nothing to do with actual chakras. But this is going to be based off of my experience from what I've seen, what I usually use, and how I go about helping other people heal their chakras based on what I see. For those of you who don't know already, I do aura, sorry, my brain stopped working. I do aura readings. I can see people's auras and I relate those colors to the chakras so that I know what they need help with. And typically, I'm usually right. Typically, it's right on the money for this person. They need this, and that's what they've been working on, or whatever. The colors I see correspond to a specific chakra. Sometimes it feels different. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it goes with that specific chakra. But there was a long time where I was like the video, like the colors don't always correspond. But when not the video, the article. But sometimes someone will have I'll see like red, right? And I'll be like, sensual chakra, this has to do with your sensuality. But really, that chakra is orange. So, sometimes it's not exact. And obviously, it makes no sense that your legs would like not have anything going on there. Like your legs have energy. It starts at your anus compared to the regular chakra. So, the Americanized version starts at your anus, and it kind of ignores the rest of your legs. Like your legs and your arms are kind of part of it, but like it's kind of like in the same place as your heart. So it's like, I did a shamanic journey because, another thing that you might not know about me is that I'm training to be a shaman, though things have been really difficult lately. When I was in a shamanic journey, I was helping with a shamanic journey, and my mentor said something about your feet chakras. And I was like, feet chakras? What? Feet chakras? Like, as a yoga instructor, I'm like, there's no feet chakras, but, maybe there is. Like, I'm definitely down to learn more about the chakras, especially because a lot of the things I know is based off the Western. I do research, but I only research so much, like, my main thing has nothing to do with, I see chakras and I base it off of my knowledge of chakras, not necessarily, I'm not a chakra expert technically. I'm an expert on my chakra understanding, which is dumb to say, but it is what it is. I just want to make sure you know that before we go more into the video. If you need to know more, it's completely fine to research, and I understand that if I'm not giving you enough, that's completely fine too. Feel free to ask me anything I don't actually tell you, and if I know, I'll tell you, and if I don't know, then I'll tell you that too. I have no problem saying I don't know. Okay, so I've already kind of gone through everything because I just, I'm on point. I didn't even look at my cards. Anyway, so some of the ways that you could heal your chakra are some easy ways. You could go to a Reiki practitioner, and a Reiki practitioner can help you with balancing your chakras, or helping you know what chakras need to be balanced. I am not a Reiki practitioner. I have friends that are. I have a master Reiki best friend. She's my bestest friend. I've known her since I was 5, and she's always been really amazing with energy work, just like amazing with energy work. And she's always been really powerful. I don't think she even knows how powerful she's always been, but she is a Reiki master, and she knows a lot about it. But I do know that they are able to help heal and also diagnose, because they're not doctors, chakra imbalances and stuff like that. And also the shamanic journey, like I talked about earlier, shamanic journeys can help you balance your chakras because it helps you deal with a lot of stuff that you wouldn't otherwise deal with. So a shamanic journey, you'll lay down and you'll be guided into your subconscious. You're guided into your spirit realm, your spirit self, your ego, and you just go through whatever you need to go through. Sometimes it's a past life thing. Sometimes it's a current life thing. Sometimes, you're visited by family members or Buddha. I had someone who was visited by Buddha. While I was leading it, helping lead it, I actually had an image of Buddha and I didn't know why, and the person wakes up and was like, Buddha came, and I was like, oh, it was you, he was actually here. So I don't know why, but it is what it is. So also, we'll just go through the chakras that I do know. I mean, obviously, the ones that go through the internet and, are part of the Western spiritual world, the one that everyone always talks about. The Muladhara, the root chakra, and I hope I'm not butchering these words. I never actually say them out loud. I'm always writing them because usually I'm typing and sending people, the messages that come through while I'm actually doing their aura readings. But it's connected to the material world, and the material world may be like a job change or just a change in your surroundings, the people you fill your space with. Your space needs to be in a higher vibration. You may need to change the way your house is set up, or you may need to change, a consistent pattern that you have that you're not even really cognizant that you have. You're consistently making these decisions to do something that may not be the best thing for you. So when I get the Muladhara chakra, when I see that one looks like it's really showing up, that means your life right now is either in for a change or is needing a change. There's something that you need to do, whether it's create a sacred space for yourself, a safe space where you can be in your moment, or it could be that you need to change your job or change something in your environment. Your environment needs to change, and that is how you help heal that, because it's connected to this world. It's where you root into this world, So then you have your Svatisthana chakra, which is your sacral chakra, which usually rules over like your sensual self or your creative self. Now, obviously, to heal that, you need to become more in tune with your sensual self, which a lot of people aren't because it's so taboo to love your sensual self. There's a video on, sensual herbs. If you need help with the sensual part of your life. But also you could just be creative. Do some type of creative dancing or painting, which is weird because it goes into two different things. But we'll get to it. But for right now, this is about creativity, expressing your inner sensual self, being the sensual and wild and primal person that you actually are, and not trying to fit into society's rules of what is. You see how that's like very creative. It's very in tune with all the creativity that comes along with the Svatisthana chakra. Next is your Manipura, which is found in the solar plexus, according to our system of chakras here. The solar plexus is also where the ego lives, which is how people kind of equate, understand egotism and stuff like that, self-understanding. In yoga, at least the way I've been taught yoga, in yoga, the important part of yoga is unity. Unity with the higher self and not your physical self. That's not necessarily the word, but your ego self. Your self, the part of you that's here, and your higher self, the part of you that's in the soul. The part of you that constantly tells you stuff like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I don't know if I can do it, things like that. You know, that's a ego problem is something that's, you know, kind of brought along with you in this life, stuff that you've constantly just kind of brought into your life. And most of the time they're lies. Sometimes, but you need to recognize when it's the ego talking and when it's your actual higher self talking. Your higher self will not say anything to hurt you. You will not be able to hurt yourself with your higher self. So when you think something and it's like, does this hurt me? Is this harming? Does this hurt myself? Does it hurt others? That's how you know that it's not your higher self. Your higher self is the being of infinite light, which is actually who you are forever. You will always be a being of infinite and loving light. That's who you are. Even if you think your soul is black, you know, at the core, that's where that is, you know, and that part of you is the true self. So every time you tell yourself something like, I'm not good enough, or I'm stupid, or any of those things that you tell yourself, that's your ego and its learned behavior telling you something that isn't true for fear of finding out the opposite. But that opposite is not even really there. It's not truth. So that in this place, in your Manipura chakra, you want to find a sense of self-understanding, unity with your higher self. Realize that when that's happening, that it's not true and it's not real and it's not who you are. And eventually your cells will align and you'll start to know who you really are. You'll see yourself for what you really are. You know, and it is not to say that you don't make mistakes. Anyone can make mistakes, but it doesn't make you bad. Doesn't make the mistakes that you make are not who you are. The mistakes that you make are just mistakes. They're just things that happen. It's okay to be flawed. Being flawed is not a bad thing. It just is. You know, like it's just something that happens, you know, and then when you make a mistake, you learn from the mistake and you keep going. And that's a good thing right there. You making that decision to look at that and be like, yeah, I think I'm going to fix that problem that I just created. Because you are being of the light and you can do whatever you put your mind to, which it's interesting because there's a few of these that seem like they're exactly the same, but they go together, you know, and obviously they have to go together because in chakras, that's kind of part of Kundalini, and there's a snake that winds up your spine, and if one is blocked, you really can't get to the other ones. At least that's what it says, but you can always find out that other things are blocked. So, you know, there's like, there could be a billion things blocked at once, and one could not be blocked, but you just can't move that energy up towards your enlightenment, your crown chakra, which we'll get to later. Okay, so next is the Anahata chakra, which is my favorite chakra because love is my thing. Obviously, it has everything to do with love. It's your heart, right? But for the most part, when I get clients who have a lot of green, which is the heart chakra, which is also my favorite color, by the way, who have a lot of green, it usually has to do with their self-loving, you know, and often I get Anahata mixed with Manipura, which is that their self, they don't believe in themselves. They don't trust that they can do what their heart set out to do, and they often downplay who they are. They don't have enough self-love. And so obviously it's time to spend time with yourself when you're talking about your Anahata chakra. Start to love yourself and recognize that you're flawed and it's beautiful to be flawed. You are beautiful and you should love who you are. And through loving who you are, you'll be able to love other people. Now, my mom and sometimes my dad, my mom mostly though, which I always appreciated my entire life, was that she always made sure that I loved who I was. She always, you know, she would go through sometimes, you know, everybody makes mistakes, everyone's flawed. But my mom would always, like, you know, tell me, oh, you're so pretty. Or she'd say something like, you're so smart. Or, you know, you can do it. And one of the things my dad used to tell me was, you know, stop saying I can't. You're not allowed to say I can't. There's always a way. And so I always find a way, you know, like, you know, it's just, I've been instilled with a sense of self-love. And of course, sometimes I have my doubts. Sometimes I feel like, you know, I can't do it. But then I shake myself out of it because I've been instilled with this self-love that my parents have given me. So it's important for you to know, and even if no one's ever told you this, I want to tell you this: you are perfect the way you are, perfectly imperfect the way you are, and there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with your nose or your mouth or your eyes or your ears or any part of you, your love handles, your ass. You're too skinny, not a thing. Too fat, not a thing. You are perfect. So you need to know that. And you need to tell yourself that every day, regardless of whether or not someone else is telling you that. Because it doesn't matter what other people think. Because all that matters is that you know that you were perfectly imperfect the way you are. Starting to cry. But that's, that's how you kind of heal yourself, by knowing who you are, knowing that you are loved and you deserve to be loved. And knowing that you deserve to be loved is definitely almost 100% the first step to being loved by someone else, because you picked the right person who will give you that love that you deserve. And that's so important, that's the most important. Let's get off of this, because I could talk about this forever. Love is my thing. So next is the Visuddha chakra, which I almost always say wrong. But that one is the throat chakra. It's very much involved in communication, and it's very similar to creativity, because they want you to write. They want you to express yourself. Stop keeping yourself from saying the things you need to say, because, those things that you need to say are so important. And when it's blocked, you just don't feel, fulfilled. You feel like there's no one there to hear you. And this also goes with the ego. You deserve to say what you need to say. You deserve to get it out. And even if you're not ready to tell someone, at least write it down. Maybe paint a picture. Get your message out there. Let that communication out. You don't want that part of you to be blocked, because then you're blocked from your spiritual enlightenment. You're blocked from your soul's purpose. And you don't want that to happen. So you need to allow yourself to get everything out of you and just release it into the world in some way, shape, or form. And see, it doesn't have to be creative. That's the thing. You just have to get your truth out. You have to get your truth out, as creativity is much different. Creativity is so different because, it's kind of expanding yourself beyond your comfort zone. And this is also expanding yourself beyond your comfort zone. But it's words, it's messages, it's getting that purpose out of you so that you can be who you need to be. And it's important to get that out. I mean, I think a lot of people have issues with this one too. We're constantly trying to stop people from being hurt in some way, and it's completely understandable to want no one to get hurt. But also, you need to release what you need to say. You need to get it out. You need to allow yourself to say what you need to say. And through getting it out, you might find out, maybe this isn't the best thought. Maybe this isn't how I really feel. And you can think it out, and you can let it go and change and evolve and become better. And that's what's so important about, getting it out. So fixing your Visuddha chakra, your throat chakra, is all about letting that message out, whether it's to a person or just to yourself, so that you can have it out. Ajna, which is the third eye chakra. This one I've always had issues with, which is funny. The other ones I just grasp so easily, and this one is so abstract to me, but it's not. It's weird. It's like ego, but like on another level of ego. So, with the third eye chakra, it helps. It's like understanding the truth of this world and bending the veil of reality, recognizing that you can literally do anything that you want to do, because this reality is kind of ours to control. You could manifest anything that you want, and your thoughts could put anything into reality. So in order to get that going, in yoga for the third eye chakra, I did back when yoga triplets was a thing. If you guys saw my podcast, the one that I got interviewed on, it's called Beautifully I don't, beautifully something. I'll put it in the you know, the comment thingy. I'll put it down there somewhere. So I forgot what I was talking about. That's so bad. Okay, so the third eye chakra has everything to do with expanding the veil of reality and knowing, you know, that you can manifest anything that you put your mind to. And you have to be able to know. Oh, in yoga, that's what I was talking about. In yoga, what we do is that we usually, in order to open that up, do a pose that you don't think you can do. What's great about yoga, when I first started doing yoga, the thing I loved about it was that it helped me lose my fear of what I thought was going to happen. I was afraid to do crow's pose because I was afraid that I might fall on my face. But if you do it, you might not fall on your face. And most people don't fall on their face. I mean, some people do. They do, you know? But that fear of falling on your face, you kind of end up doing it because you are attracting that into your life. When you are focusing on the idea of you not falling on your face, you're also focusing your muscles on not falling on your face. So, you know, you'll either go back onto your feet or actually be able to do it because you're focusing your body on what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's definitely a simplistic version of, you know, what it is. And that's like mechanical. You can actually see how that works, right? But this goes a little bit further into knowing that you have the ability to keep yourself up. You have the ability to shape your reality. And this one is really hard to heal because it's so abstract. You know, it's so abstract. It's so hard to understand how you can heal that one. So I had to look it up, you know, because I was like, oh, how can I tell people this? If, you know, for me, obviously you can meditate. Totally. Like meditate, you know, allow yourself to go beyond the veil of this reality and understand your consciousness and subconsciousness on that level. Recognize that you are capable of all things and you are still a being of light, and connect yourself to, you know, the collective consciousness, which I think I consistently connect to because there are a bunch of people that I follow who are also kind of in the same place I am, and we all come up with the same ideas at the exact same time. And I feel like it's because I'm tapping into a collective consciousness that they are also tapping into, and we're all just coming up with the same ideas. So, but some of the herbs that they said were supposed to help with that are sage, juniper, rosemary, and frankincense. There was also marjoram, and I can't remember what else was there. I wrote a few down, ones that everyone's heard of. Obviously things that can help lift your spirit. This is a very Pluto chakra, you know, karmic energy, surpassing all that stuff. I mean, Pluto's also kind of very crown chakra-y. But, you know, the last one is Sahasrara. I never say that right because it's just so cool. And it could be wrong. That was my husband. But, you know, that one is the enlightenment chakra. In order to heal that one, you kind of have to just heal all the rest of them. You know, because once you get past all those, once you unblock everything, that's your goal right there, enlightenment, you know. So once you get all the way up, boom, enlightenment. That's, you know, that's kind of how that one goes. Obviously, you know, just accepting the world as it is, but also loving the world as it is. You know, things are, so they are, you know, and you look out and you see, you know, all the amazing things that are built in this world so that they come together and form all these bonds, the plants, the animals, healing the sick. You know, it's all just kind of amazing, and understanding that things will be, you know. And I know that it sounds like I'm not saying anything. I know it sounds like I'm not saying anything, but it really is something, you know, like things are, and there's no point in trying to change their being. I mean, unless, you know, you're trying to make more money in your house or whatever. Normal stuff's not a big deal, but you know, the leaves will be leaves, and they will exist the way they exist, and it's beautiful. You know, like, and those leaves may help us in some way herbally, and that connection between me and that other life form is beautiful, and that other life form will come through me and be reused, and I will die and I will become that thing. And you know what I'm saying? Everything just is, and it's great and it's beautiful. I am not in enlightenment, because I feel like personally, the journey is consistent. It's consistent journey over and over all the time. Things will get blocked, and then you unblock them, and then maybe I might hit enlightenment. I don't know if I have or I haven't. I don't know. But I also don't feel like that, like I'm better than anyone or more important than anyone just because I know these things. I know that there is so much to learn on this journey on this earth that that I still haven't learned, and it's so important to continue to learn and move in that journey. Whether or not this is all, this could be more. There could be more into this, and it's very important that you consistently read up on it. I honestly don't like opinion pieces on anything because they're very biased, and I can see a lot of the bias in them. I'd much rather have something that's just straightforward. These are the things, and this is what they say. You know, I read so many books, and some of them are by Indian people, and I understand colonization may have caused some things to change. I've seen a lot of things that are incorrect based on colonization. But the things that I do know are also based on my experience, and I hope that they were very helpful to you. Keep moving in your journey. Don't stop. Just continue to be amazing being of light, full of all kinds of amazing energy. Thank you so much for watching me, and I hope that I was helpful in at least a little way. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and also I will be creating another video soon. Also, I have the sensual women's it's not sensual women, it's a sacred feminine webinar that's coming up, and it comes with videos and well, obviously it's a video. I have to make the video. It comes with herbs and different a whole box of stuff so that you can go work through my journey of teaching you this with me. You can do all the stuff that I put in the webinar, and you can also do you can do all the stuff that I put in the webinar, and you can do all of the you know, like make all the salves and all that stuff. I'm putting all that stuff in the box. If you get it, it's $50, but it's only $20 down, and then you can pay the rest up until the video. But the thing is, if you pay it the day of the video, whenever you put in that $50 is when the box gets shipped. But everyone gets a video of the webinar, so you won't be able to ask me questions if you're not there at the same time. But the moment that you send the $50 is the moment that the box will be getting ready to be shipped. So, you know, the earlier the better, but if you wait until the webinar, then it's no big deal. And if you send the rest of the money after the webinar, I'll still send you the box later. It's not a big deal to me. You know, it's just I need the products. In order to get the products, I need the money. You know how it goes. So I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. Goodbye.